Welcome to CognitionChunks. This is How Iambic Pentameter was used in Shakespearean Insults by GPT. Introduction. William Shakespeare, the towering figure of English literature, was not just a tragic dramatist or a romantic poet. He was also a master of wit, humor, and insults. What further distinguishes his humorous invectives is the poetic meter in which they are often delivered, iambic pentameter. Before we get into the meat of the discussion, it's essential to understand what iambic pentameter is and why it's crucial for comprehending Shakespeare's ingenious use of insults. The basics of iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter is a metrical pattern commonly used in traditional English poetry and verse drama. The pattern is made up of 5 iambs, a metrical foot consisting of one unstressed syllable followed by one stressed syllable, ddm. So, in iambic pentameter, a line would generally follow this structure, ddum 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 ddum. This rhythm is said to closely resemble the natural rhythms of English speech and is part of why it was so popular. The function of iambic pentameter in Shakespearean works. In Shakespeare's plays, iambic pentameter often serves various functions, from revealing character traits and emphasizing dramatic moments to setting the overall tone. It also serves as a vessel for humor and, yes, insults. The meter lends a certain gravitas to the insults, making them more memorable and potent. Notable examples. One of the most famous insults in iambic pentameter is from Henry IV, Part 1, where Prince Henry says to Falstaff, "Thou art as fat as butter." The line falls neatly into iambic pentameter if you consider the variations that can occur within the structure. In Much Ado About Nothing, Benedict delivers a line that fits the mold. She speaks poniards, and every word stabs. The complexity and wit. What's intriguing is that these insults in iambic pentameter often contain multiple layers of meaning, puns, and literary devices like alliteration and assonance. They are not merely ad hoc jibes but well-crafted, rhythmic sentences designed to sting. This depth often makes the insult not just a derogatory remark but a comment on the character, setting, or even the social mores of the time. Cultural impact. Shakespeare's insults have had such a lasting impact that they've become part of the cultural lexicon. Many are quoted or adapted in modern media, proving their timeless relevance and the enduring legacy of their iambic pentameter structure. In conclusion, Shakespeare's use of iambic pentameter for delivering insults serves to elevate the discourse even when the subject matter is derisive or downright insulting. The meter imbues the insult with a level of artistry and intelligence that is often lacking in modern-day slurs or derogatory language. It's a testament to Shakespeare's genius that he could craft insults that not only fit into a rigorous metrical pattern but also packed a punch strong enough to stand the test of time. So, the next time you aim to insult someone, perhaps try doing it in iambic pentameter. It won't just be an insult, it'll be a work of art. Here's a list of some of the most memorable and amusing Shakespearean insults that fit the iambic pentameter meter. Please note that some lines may include variations or substitutions within the iambic pentameter structure. I remove some duplicates from the list. 2. I do desire we may be better strangers. As you like it. 3. Thou art a fleshmonger, a fool, and a coward. Measure for measure. 4. A knave, a rascal, an eater of broken meats. King Lear. 5. Thou art as loathsome as a toad. Troilus and Cressida. 6. Your brain is as dry as the remainder biscuit. As you like it. 7. More of your conversation would infect my brain. Coriolanus. 8. You scullion, you rampallion, you fustularian. Henry IV, Part 2. 9. Thou sodden-witted lord! Thou hast no more brain than I have in mine elbows. Troilus and Cressida. 10. Were you as young as I, Juliet, thy love slash an hour but married, Tybalt murdered. Romeo and Juliet. 11. Thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. The Two Gentlemen of Verona. 12. I'll beat thee, but I should infect my hands. Timon of Athens. 13. Thou whore son, senseless villain. Comedy of Errors. 14. You minion are too saucy. The Two Gentlemen of Verona. 15. Go, ye giddy goose. Henry IV, Part 1. 16. Away, you cutpurse rascal! You filthy bung! Henry IV, Part 1. 17. You are now sailed into the north of my lady's opinion. 12th Night. 18. Would thou wert clean enough to spit upon! Timon of Athens. 25. You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things! Julius Caesar. 26. O villain, thou stolest the cup of sack 18 years ago and art not yet hanged. Henry IV, Part 1. 27. You are as a candle, the better burn out. Henry IV, Part 2. 28. Thy tongue outvenoms all the worms of Nile. Cymbeline. 29. You starveling, you ill skin, you dried neat's tongue. Henry IV, Part 1. 30. Thy sin's not accidental, but a trade. Measure for measure. 31. Thou art a natural coward, without instinct. Henry IV, Part 1. 32. You ruinous bud, you whoreson indistinguishable cur. Troilus and Cressida. 33. Peace, ye fat guts. Henry IV, Part 1. 34. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so. Macbeth. 35. Away, you 3-inch fool! The Taming of the Shrew. 36. His wit's as thick as Tewkesbury mustard. Henry IV, Part 2. 37. You poor, base, rascally, cheating lacklinen mate. Henry IV, Part 1. 38. You scurvy companion. Henry IV, Part 2. 39. He has not so much brain as earwax. Troilus and Cressida. 41. You are as a candle, the better burn out. Henry IV, Part 2. 42. You whore's uncullionly Barbara Munger. King Lear. 43. Away, you mouldy rogue, away! Henry IV, Part 2. 44. You are now sailed into the north of my lady's opinion, where you will hang like an icicle on a Dutchman's beard. 12th Night. 45. You are as rheumatic as 2 dry toasts. Henry IV, Part 1. 46. You abilities are too infant-like for doing much alone. Coriolanus. 47. You eel-skin, you dry neat-stung, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish. Henry IV, Part 1. 48. Thou damned trite-visaged rascal. King Lear. 49. You, Nick Bottom, are set down for Pyramus. A Midsummer Night's Dream. While many of these lines might not fit perfectly into the iambic pentameter framework, their meter closely resembles or incorporates elements of it, showcasing Shakespeare's flexibility with the form. Shakespeare's insults are artfully constructed with rhythm and meter, making them as poetic as they are piercing. Thank you for joining us for a Cognition Chunks.